I'm speaking to you from New York City, where I used to live. And I only arrived here two days ago. And I can tell you, I can't wait to get back to Joensuu. I consider myself extremely lucky, and I'm very grateful that I've had this opportunity to be based in Joensuu and North Karelia. I've lived in many different parts of the world. I've lived in most of my life in Africa. I've lived a long time in New York City. I've worked and lived in other cities of Europe. And I think that Joensuu in particular has really much to offer. For my own, I'll just give you a little background. I knew nothing about Finland about 6-7 years ago when I met my partner for the first time. We actually met in Italy, and we got into a conversation that she was actually leaving for the next day to come back to Finland. And I asked her, well, a little bit about Finland. And what she told me, I was amazed at, saying that she was going back to, it was the summertime, to spend time in the family Mökki, the cottage. And to me, this seemed astounding that families would have these little cottages where they could live in the summertime, close to nature and enjoying this. And this was absolutely amazing to me. And I got to know Finland bit by bit over the next few years. And my introduction to Finland was actually the city of Pori, because that's where she was working. She's from Joensuu. And so I spent quite a bit of time in the city of Pori, and of course Helsinki, because I was coming through Helsinki, and I got to know Finland, and we spent our summers in Karelia. And I really got to appreciate Finland, get to know Finland and appreciate the many great things about your country. But really, it's only until we moved to Joensuu, and we decided to move to Joensuu about 2.5 years ago, when our daughter was about to be born. And we said, okay, this would be the place to settle. Her family is from Joensuu, and we moved to Joensuu, and I said goodbye to New York City. And quite a change, coming from New York City, living here for the past 18 years, to live in Joensuu. But I got to tell you, I'm very grateful, and I think what is remarkable about Joensuu is, first of all, I think you have the size of the city is really a great size. It's manageable. You have everything you have available to you, but also you are surrounded by so much beautiful nature. And I think the key that you have that is going to be something that I think will be of great appeal to professionals who are looking for new places is that the balance between professional and personal life is really ideal. You have an environment that is safe, that is healthy, and where one can work and have all access to, in this digital age where we are all connected, you have all the access to the world, you have all the facilities you want, but you have a lifestyle that is really balanced. And I really think that this is something that is becoming more and more important. And especially in the past year, when we've been living through this pandemic globally, I think that people have really, everywhere, are really questioning their lifestyles. And especially people who have been living in cities, fast-paced cities, stressful cities, where life can be quite stressful. People are really questioning, well, to try to find this balance between personal happiness and personal life and work. And what I found in my own experience is that being based in Joensuu in some way has opened up a lot of creativity for me. I feel much more balanced. I feel I'm much more productive. And I think this has something to do with the environment, being surrounded by so much nature. You are also have a lot. It's a manageable life. You have top of the line facility. Everything you want is in Joensuu, and everything is within 5 or 10 minutes reach. And I think I cannot stress enough another aspect, and that is the idea of safety. Especially, it's a safe environment. It is a healthy environment, and I think for people with families, or people thinking about families and thinking of starting out, I think this is something extremely precious. That here you have an environment that is so nurturing, that is so safe for families and for children, where children can grow up with a sense of freedom and also have access to the amazing social services and that Finland has to offer. Your education, your healthcare, all of these things are huge selling points. And I think that your region is also, is special because, like I said, I spent quite a bit of time on the West Coast in the city of Pori, and I've got to say it's a very different vibe. I think you are. There's a warmth in Karelia with the people. There's and also you have a lot of history and culture as well. That is, in many ways, you are the spiritual home, one could say, of Finland. And of course, I am an outsider. I'm still learning, but one can feel this sort of roots, which is another big selling point for me. And I have to say, I'm also extremely grateful that I've received a lot of support as a new entrepreneur, setting up my company. I got a lot of support through a startup grant. I got a lot of support from the Business Joensuu facilities. I was part of a program there to help my company set up, and that was extremely useful. And the facilities that you have available for companies for free at Business Joensuu are absolutely remarkable. That these are world-class facilities. That campus is really quite incredible. The spaces for companies, if you want to rent a place, but even the free spaces that are available there for you to come and work. I really, I've had a few, because I have a young child, and until recently we were living in a fairly small apartment. So we've recently bought a house, but now it was hard to work at home. So I spent a lot of time at the Business Joensuu facilities, and I had a lot of calls with people around the world, and everybody was asking me, so you really have a very nice office there. Look at the background of the facility. And I said, yeah, well, this is actually a co-working space. And I told them a little about it, and everybody was absolutely astounded. So I think that you have an incredible amount of positive pluses to offer. And I think, as Finland itself becomes more attractive globally, I think it's really getting recognition that people, it's well known now, even with my friends and acquaintances in New York, Finland is being recognized as the best education, as the happiest people in the world. So people are paying attention to this. And I think it's, Finland as a whole has got a lot to offer, but I think Karelia and Joensuu in particular has got something very special that you can sort of capitalize on. And again, I come to this balance of professional and personal quality of life. I don't think quality of life gets any better than in Joensuu. And I used to, admire Helsinki as a small city, as a manageable city, after getting to know New York City and coming to Helsinki. But, I find myself even now, when going through Helsinki, that I feel, well, even Helsinki is like a city anywhere else. And I immediately miss Joensuu. And here I am in New York City today, and I'm really missing Joensuu. So I hope, my comments are useful in some way, some perspective. And I really think that you have a lot to offer. And certainly, I am very happy to help support your efforts in any way I can. Being an ambassador, I've already, spreading the word among my networks and my friends and colleagues, trying to encourage people to come visit as soon as it is possible to travel again. But I really think that you'll find that over the coming years, you have something to offer that people are really looking for. And of course, you have all of the other things, the digital connections, Joensuu was known as the leader of virtual reality until a few years ago in Finland. So you have a lot of technological things. You have the University of Eastern Finland there. So you really have a lot, but there's something even bigger that is about the space and this very, very special place. And once again, all I say is I consider myself a very lucky person to have had this opportunity to begin a new chapter. And I spent 18 years now before moving to Finland in New York City, and New York City never felt like home. I never felt comfortable here. For me, home was always in Africa. That's why I felt at home. But I have to say, Finland and Joensuu in particular is really beginning to feel like home. So thank you for this opportunity to share my perspectives. And if anybody has any questions, I don't know, I'd be glad to answer them. Thank you very much.